Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. तो आज हम करेंगे क्लास 8 क्रॉप प्रोडक्शन एंड मैनेजमेंट की चैप्टर एक्सरसाइज. सो फर्स्ट है oral questions. What is meant by manuring? Manuring is an organic matter that is derived from animal feces. These are obtained naturally and have no harmful impact on the soil and environment. Then what is irrigation? Irrigation is the process of applying water to the crops artificially to fulfill their water requirements. Nutrients may also be provided to the crops through irrigation. The various sources of water for irrigation are wells, ponds, lakes, canals, tube wells, and even dams. Irrigation offers moisture required for growth and development, germination, and other related functions. The frequency, rate, amount, and time of irrigation are different for different crops and also vary according to the types of soil and seasons. For example, summer crops require higher amount of water as compared to winter crops. Next, we have name any two kharif crops. The crops which are sown in the rainy season are called kharif crops. The rainy season in India is generally from June to September. The main kharif crops of India are paddy, maize, soybean, groundnut, and cotton. Next, we have science quiz. Which crop is grown in the rainy season? The crops grown during the rainy season, June to September, are known as kharif crops. For example, paddy, maize, soybean, etc. While those grown in winter, that means October to March, are known as rabi crops. For example, wheat, gram, pea, etc. What is the first step for growing a crop? To grow any crop, the soil has to be prepared first. Preparation of soil is done by ploughing. It is a process of turning and loosening the soil with a plough. Sometimes a modern tool called cultivator is used instead of a plough. Name the nitrogen fixing bacteria present in root nodules of leguminous plant. This is very important question. Please, my dear students, you have to learn this. Rhizobium is the nitrogen fixing bacteria. Now we have some worksheet over here in which you have to tick the correct answers, right? So what you need to do, what you need to answer first? A. Tick the correct options. The science which deals with breeding, feeding, and caring of domestic animal is called animal husbandry. Which of the following is not a cereal? Maize, pea, bajra, and barley. Sorry, barley. It is pea. Then next we have urea is what is urea? Fertilizer, compost, manure, none of these. So urea is a fertilizer. Next one we have rhizobium bacteria are found in. I just told you that this is very important question. So root nodules of leguminous plants. So we just learned that. Then now we have next B part. Circle the odd one out. Give reasons for your choice. So this is the question. Rice plant, maize plant, wheat plant, and cotton plant. So the odd one out is wheat. Wheat plant is the odd one out. The reason is as wheat is a rabi crop that are sown in the winter season, and all others are kharif crops that are sown in the rainy season. Next, we have ploughing, pesticide, manuring, and leveling. So, pesticide is the odd one out as this is used to kill the pest which harm the crops while others are part of the agricultural practice. Next, we have urea, superphosphate, green manure, and potash. So, green manure is the odd one out as this is the manure while others are the examples of fertilizers. Fill in the blanks. The crops that are sown in the winter season are called rabi crops. The ploughed land is leveled with the help of a leveler. Watering of plants through sources other than rain is called irrigation. Multiple choice question in scientific or practical skills. Now you have to answer over here. So the question is in the crop rotation method, after harvesting wheat crop we can sow. So which plant which crop we can sow? Cotton, rice, pea, mustard. So we can sow mustard. For the uniform distribution of water and manure in a field, a farmer practices ploughing, leveling, manuring, none of these. So For the uniform distribution of water, so what they need? They need bluffing. Uprooting of weeds is a method of controlling them. So biologically, we can control them, right? What are the very short answer questions? What are the two methods of sowing seeds? The two methods of sowing seeds in the soil are manual sowing, which is done manually by hand, and the other is by a seed drill. Name two modern methods of irrigation: drip system and sprinkler system. Mention the major activities involving in growing a crop. Some major activities involving in growing a crop are soil loosening, watering seeds, plantation, etc. Some of the agricultural practices engage in sowing soil, manure, adding irrigation of fertilizers, implementation, storage or harvesting activities. Now next we have name any two rabi crops. So rabi crops: wheat, barley, oats, gram, mustard, oil, linseed. What is meant by agricultural implements? Agricultural implements are the tools required to carry out agricultural practices. There are number of agricultural implements used in today's farming activities. In general, these implements are of five major types. तो ये जो यहाँ पर जो types लिखे हुए हैं, ये next question के हैं, तो मैं वहां पर पेस्ट कर देती हूँ ताकि आप इनको आसानी से कर पाए. ये यहाँ पर गलती से पेस्ट हो गया है, तो ये यहाँ पर आएगा. ठीक है. Wait for a second. I need to do a little bit change for here. So जब हम ये वाला क्वेश्चन यहाँ पे ले आएंगे, आई एम सो सॉरी. सो हमारे पास उसकी स्पेस आ जाएगी. ये वाला क्वेश्चन यहाँ आ जाता है और यहाँ पर हमारे पास इसकी स्पेस आ जाएगी. ओके. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन है व्हाट आर पल्सेस ऑल्टर्ड विद, सॉरी मैं पहले यहाँ पर सॉइल इज प्रिपेयर्ड बाय लेवलिंग एंड tilling. Seeds are sowed in the prepared soil. Second, third one is pure manure and fertilizers are added. Then we have crops are protected. Machine based harvesting is done. So यहाँ पर ये वाला क्वेश्चन कंप्लीट हो जाता है. देन आपके पास नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन आता है व्हाट आर pulses alternated with crops like wheat and rice. So यहाँ पर इसका आपको आंसर देना है. So pulses are alternated with crops like wheat and rice because these crops consume a lot of nitrogen from the soil. The roots of pulses form an association with nitrogen fixing bacteria and convert the atmospheric nitrogen into ammonia, which is used by plants. उम्मीद करती हूँ ये वाली जो थोड़ी सी दिक्कत हुई है आपको ना हो, क्योंकि मैंने वीडियो में ही सही कर दिया है. How do leguminous plants help in maintaining soil fertility? So legumes improve soil fertility through the symbiotic association with microorganisms such as rhizobia, which fix the atmospheric nitrogen and make nitrogen available to the host, and other crops by a process known as biological nitrogen fixation. ये क्वेश्चन बहुत पूछा जाता है, तो इसको प्लीज याद कर लेना. A farmer has sown the seeds too deep. What is the likely going to observe? Give reason. The deeply sown seed will not grow because they will not get proper sunlight and air for germination. वन मोर थिंग, सेम क्वेश्चन आगे भी पूछा गया है और उसका मैंने एक डिटेल्ड आंसर दिया है, वो भी आप इसमें लिख सकते हैं. Short answer type 2 questions. What are fertilizers? Name any three fertilizers. So a fertilizer is any material or natural or synthetic origin that is applied to soil or to plant tissues to supply plant nutrients. Fertilizers may be distinct from from limiting materials or other nutrient soil amendments. Many sources of fertilizers exist, both natural and industrially produced. सो ये यहाँ पर कुछ टाइप्स ऑफ फर्टिलाइजर्स हैं जो आप कोई भी लिख सकते हैं. देन व्हाट इज व्हाई इज इट इम्पोर्टेंट टू सो सीड्स एट द करेक्ट डेप्थ एंड डिस्टेंस फ्रॉम ईच अदर, जो मैंने अभी कहा था कि आगे भी मैंने दे रखा है, सेम क्वेश्चन है ये. तो क्वेश्चन को दूसरे तरीके से पूछा गया है. द सीड शुड बी सोन एट अप्रोप्रिएट डेप्थ बिकॉज सीड सोन सुपरफिशियली कैन बी ईटन बाय द birds, but they should not be sown too deep also. In addition to this, the seeds should not be sown too close as the plants will not get sufficient space to grow and will compete for space, nutrients and sunlight. Why is the drip system of irrigation of water economical method? Why is irrigation necessary? So drip irrigation of water is economical method because in this irrigation system, water falls drop by drop on the position of roots of the plant, thereby reducing both the consumption and loss of water. Plants contain nearly 90% water, still they need water for their survival because of the following reasons. Water is essential for germination of seed as well as important for the proper growth and development of plants, fruits and seeds of plants. Water is essential for carrying out the process of photosynthesis to make food. Water dissolves nutrients which are transported to each part of the plant. Next, we have what is harvesting. Why do farmers celebrate Vaisakhi? The process of cutting and gathering of crops after its maturation is called harvesting. The sight of golden fields of a standing crop loaded with grains fills the hearts of farmers with joy and sense of prosperity. The farmers sing traditionally songs to express their joy and pleasure for getting the product of their hard work and labor. What do we learn from celebrating festivals? Festivals are an important part of our culture and heritage. They teach us about our traditions, values, and beliefs. Celebrating festivals can help us learn about different culture and religions and can help us appreciate the diversity of our world. Festivals also provide an opportunity for families and friends to come together and celebrate. They can help us build stronger relationships with our loved ones. Why do the crops grown in sandy soil need more frequent irrigation than crops grown in clay soil? As sandy soil is not permeable, it does not have water holding capacity. So, whereas clay soil is highly permeable by water holding capacity, so crops grown in sandy soil needs more irrigation than crops grown in the clay soil. Next we have, okay, what is manure? Manure is an organic matter derived from solid animal waste that is used to enhance the consistency of the soil and increase good crop yields. Manure is a decomposed form of dead plants and animals that is used to improve development in the soil. It is a fertilizer in its natural form and is cost effective. The excrement of humans and animal is often used as manure. Nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium are rich in livestock manure. Manure is particularly rich in organic matter and humus, thus improving the fertility of the soil. These are safer and do not cause any emissions. In the long run, it is a resource that is precious and sustainable. What are fertilizers? Advantages and disadvantages of fertilizers. To improve the productivity of plants and boost their growth, a chemical substance is added to soil or plant tissue is known as fertilizers. It can be organic or inorganic, and both can be used for providing basic nutrients to plants. Most fertilizers consist of nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus, and some contain other nutrients like lime, zinc, and magnesium, etc., which are necessary for plant growth. It is beneficial for agricultural production. So यहाँ पर ये line नहीं आएगा, which is wrong. Advantages of fertilizers. Chemical fertilizer is mostly used because it is easily soluble and boost the growth of the crop instantly. Organic fertilizers provide basic nutrients of the plant, which are potassium, nitrogen, and phosphorus. Organic fertilizers increase a lot of soil organisms, which help to boost plant growth. Disadvantages of fertilizers. Excessive use of fertilizer cause water pollution. Fertilizers are non-biodegradable, thus also cause soil pollution. To maintain the fertility of the soil, excess use of fertilizer should be avoided and use of manure should be promoted. Next, we have a lot of seeds are there, so you need to like, share, and subscribe the channel. What are weedicides? Weedicides, chemicals that kill weeds, are known as weedicides. Selective weedicides kill certain targets while leaving the desired crop relatively unharmed. Weedicides are chemicals that are sprayed over the fields to get rid of weeds. Weeds are those plants that grow in between the crops and take nutrition from them. These weeds feed on the nutrients provided to the crops and thus reduce the supply of nutrients to the crops, thereby hindering their growth. The growth of these weeds needs to be limited in order to enhance the growth of the plants. Weedicides are chemicals that are sprayed over fields Get rid of weeds. They will not show any effect on crop plants. There are two major categories of herbicides classified by mode of action: contact herbicides and translocated herbicides. For example of weedicides: 2,4-dichlorophenoxyacetic acid, naphthalene acetic acid, atrazine, ग्लाइफोस्फेट SL फोस्फेट है यहाँ पर, then metribuzin WP. Then name some weedicides: ethyl ester, neem extract, glyphosate, phosphate, sorry. Then isoproteron, pretileclor and pendimethalin. So ये कुछ नेम है जो आप लिखना चाहो लिख सकते हो. Harmful effects of weeds in the crop field. Harmful effects of weeds are: they interfere in harvesting, they compete with crop plants for water, nutrients, space, and light. Presence of weeds increase the cost of agriculture and hinders the progress of work. It increases the irrigation requirement. They affect plant growth. They reduce the value of produce or otherwise adds the cost of cleaning. Some weeds, when eaten by milch animals, which produce an undesirable odor in the milk, at times death or disorder or deformity may occur. For example, the Thura stramonium. The fruits and seeds of Xanthium stromarium and Achiranthus aspera entangle with wool which fetch lower prices. They harbor insect pests, pathogens, and parasites. They reduce the value of the land. Presence of weeds will impair the purity of variety by chance of cross-pollination. Weeds cause health hazards to man and animals. Weeds cause allelopathic effect. Therefore, the correct answer is option. No, sorry. This is not correct, which is written at the end. Okay. Okay. So आप इसमें से ये जो है ना जिसमें ज़ैंथियम स्ट्रोमेरियम ये वाले तो जरूर लिखना, क्योंकि इसी से आपको मार्क्स मिलेंगे. तो ये मत सोचना कि ये नेम स्टफ है तो मैं इसको छोड़ दूं, तो ये मत छोड़ना है प्लीज. मैन्योर एंड फर्टिलाइजर में डिफरेंस बताना है. एक नेचुरल है, एक आर्टिफिशियल है. किस तरीके से एक केमिकल है, एक हमें नेचुरली मिलता है. किसमें न्यूट्रिएंट ज्यादा है, किसमें कम है, कौन एब्जॉर्ब करता है, कौन नहीं करता है, कौन सा चीपर है, कौन सा कॉस्टली है. बहुत इजी वे में दे रखा है, पढ़ लेना इसको. मैं थक गई हूँ रेगुलर बोलते बोलते. व्हाट आर एडवांटेजेस ऑफ यूजिंग मैन्योर? एडवांटेजेस ऑफ मैन्योर ये आप प्लीज खुद से देख लेना, क्योंकि मैंने इसीलिए पीपीटी बनाई है ताकि आपको कोई भी दिक्कत ना हो. अगर प्लीज आपको ये काम मेरा पसंद आ रहा है ना, तो लाइक शेयर सब्सक्राइब जरूर कर देना, क्योंकि सीरियसली 21 स्लाइड्स बनाना लिखना इट्स नॉट एन इजी टास्क. बहुत टाइम लगता है, फिर इनको एडिटिंग करनी पड़ती है. और आपके सामने भी बात है कि मैंने आपके सामने भी एडिटिंग की है, कुछ ना कुछ गड़बड़ हो जाती है. तो प्लीज 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 मेरी हेल्प करें, लाइक शेयर एंड सब्सक्राइब करें. और चैनल को मतलब रेगुलरली आप अपने फ्रेंड्स को भेजिए, अपने अपने रिलेटिव्स को भेजिए प्लीज. सपोर्ट में. थैंक यू.